Looking for nerdy news? You're in the right place.
Oh, great. This guy's gonna be late again.
This is the Nerdy News Rundown.
I got plenty of time.
On today's show, the brand new Infinity War trailer. Holy crap, it's amazing. We're going to break it down. DC films. There's going to be a New Gods film. Is Ava Duvernay a good pick? Lord of the Rings. Amazon spending a boatload of money on their new TV series. We're going over all of that. I'm going to be late! I'm your host, Josh Lucas, broadcasting live from Uncanny in the King of Prussia Mall, Philadelphia. Let's get this show started. Oh man, oh man, oh man. What is up, all of you beautiful nerds around the world? And one right next to me. What's going on, everybody? It's Josh. This is, of course, the Nerdy News Rundown. We're talking about the nerdy news. Big news. The Avengers Infinity War trailer dropped. It's absolutely incredible. By the way, too, I do want to mention right off the top, we're doing a promotion today. I'm breaking in between topics here, and I'm going to be asking some trivia questions, and people are going to be able to win some cool swag. We're doing a promotion with Pacific Rim Uprising, and we've got some cool stuff. Check this shirt out. This thing's kind of cool. It's got the Jaegers on it, right? So we're giving away some stuff like that. I've got some pins, water bottles, different things like that. So I did pull some names yesterday for people on the video that won some stuff, which I'm going to go over in a second. One of them is actually here with me right now. So she's going to save me some shipping costs. So I'm just going to hand it to her. It's going to be cool. Let me check out what's going on in the stream real quick. We're going to be a little more casual today. Looks like we got some people in here. What is up, everybody? I am here instead of with John Campia. Thank you, Mr. Pete. That means a lot. I do appreciate that. It's going to be a really good show, guys. We're going to have a ton of fun. I want to break down the trailer for Avengers Infinity War because that thing was fantastic. And if you know me, I went in there frame by frame and picked apart everything that I could glean from that trailer. Tons of cool stuff on there. But let me pick up some of the names. So what I did yesterday, guys, if you didn't know, and I had so people that commented, liked, and were subscribers, I randomly generated people to see who would be the recipients of the cool swag that we had yesterday. And it was pretty surprising, some of the people that came up. I thought it was pretty fitting. One of these people is, right, like I said, right beside me right now. Ixie, what's up? How are you? Do you this is Ixie Morningstar. Do you want to get some of your swag and come on camera for a second? Sure. So, guys, this is Ixie. You might have seen her in the chat a little bit here and there. She's can I say a big fan? Are you?
Yeah.
She's a little bit of a fan of what we do here.
I woke up at 8 o'clock to come down here to make sure that you could be live.
Yeah, she woke up, drove here to make sure that the live stream was gonna go good. Helped us out with some technical stuff on the side, and so I've got this sweet Pacific Rim shirt for you, and some other stuff too, which you can honestly have your pick of, of whatever you want. But
so that's my Patreon work for you.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate it so much. Thank you so much. Let me see if I can pull up the other people here too, because one of them was really active in the comments too, and I want to shout them out. Let me see if I can find it here. Oh, computer, don't fail me now. Let's see here. See if I can pull this stuff up. Make sure we're still looking good. Oh yeah, stream looks good. Your art is cool. Blah, blah, blah. Thank you, everybody. I'm trying to pull this up right now. Sorry, it's a little embarrassing. Stupid computer. So that's Ixie right here. All right, so as I pull these up, I do want to shout out, of course, Uncanny. Oh, wow, nice.
Just leave it pointing at it. It'll start working.
Oh, a little lightsaber action. This is pretty sweet. That's cool. That's gonna be a staple thing. So, am I gonna blind everybody if I point it at them?
We'll blind them.
Okay. Well, we won't blind you guys.
So just point it at your computer and
Ooh,
threaten it.
purple.
work.
Look at that. That's pretty cool. That is awesome. That is pretty stinking cool. All right. So this is okay. So, Ange, 1885, who, by the way, signed up for Patreon yesterday and put a comment on there that literally said, I hope more people check out the Patreon. It was so cool. I randomly generated. You were the first winner. So, Ange, 1885. And by the way, I'll hit you up because, I have your contact stuff on the Patreon. So, you win a shirt and some buttons and a bag, which I'll ship out to you later today. Make sure you give me your info on that. And then the other person that won was Flair Knight, who made a comment basically talking about it doesn't matter what Ryan Johnson has to say about Raylo. He's not in charge of the next movie. And Flair Knight, I guess you're right. And I believe I even commented on that and said, yeah, you're right. But those are the two winners, okay? So we're going to get into breaking down this trailer here in just a second. But what I want to do, guys, is after every topic, I'm going to stop and ask a science fiction question. The first person to answer that question correctly in the chat is going to win some cool Pacific Rim swag. So after every topic, we're going to get into that. But let's get into this Avengers Infinity War trailer. This thing, man, I was so excited. I was waiting for it. I thought it was going to drop at about 9 a.m. It ended up being the case. And so we're going to break this little puppy down right here. Let me pull up my notes because I made some notes about this because it's pretty cool. Okay, so I have the trailer pulled up here. By the way, let me know in the chat, guys, what did you think of the Infinity War trailer? Were you as hype on it as I was? Do you think it was just okay? Please let me know. Okay, so here we go. We got the beginning of the trailer here. Now, as I go through this thing, what I noticed here was I think this spinning shot is actually the Hulk being thrown down to Earth and going into the Sanctum. That's sort of the vibe that I got from it, right? You have Gamora talking about half of the universe with the snap, of course. Thanos putting on the stones there. Now, that's such a callback, right? Her snapping her fingers, because if you're a comic book fan, in the Thanos Quest storyline at the end of it, well, it's actually not at the end of it, but towards the end of him getting all of the gems, he literally wipes out half of the life in the universe with the snap of his finger. Now, in the comic books, he was doing this to impress Mistress Death, but they're going a different way in the movies. I've spoken about this a little bit before. Essentially, they have changed Thanos' character to make him a little bit more relatable. Something that happened on Titan wiped out all of his people, and he was not able to correct it in the cosmic sense because of this just bigger picture thing going on, like some kind of galactic rules or cosmic rules. And he's frustrated about that. And he sees life as being sort of like unabated and just growing without any like consequence. And that's going to end up causing something really bad to happen. And so in the MCU version of Thanos, they're trying to make him sympathetic so that he's trying to kill half of the life in the universe to save the rest of the people in the universe. I think in his mind, if he doesn't do this, everybody's done for, and the whole thing's just going to collapse and go down. So that snap is very iconic from the comics. Now, I was asking Dustin earlier, I was like, well, do you think that's all we're going to get, or do you think Thanos is actually going to do the snap? And I actually do not know. The more I watch this trailer and think about it, I don't even know if he'll actually assemble the full gauntlet in the film. It's sort of a mystery to me. It's up in the air as far as I'm concerned. But that was a really cool callback to sort of have her talking about that and snapping the finger. You got Tony here, obviously, like, who's this guy? Okay, now this part's so dope. We gotta go back. This is dope right here. So he's in the armor, right? Everybody was like, oh, why doesn't he have the armor on in the other trailer? What's he doing? I don't get it. Well, this is him taking off the mask, seemingly at the beginning of the movie when he interacts with Hulk and Thor and the Asgardians who are trying to come to Earth. And so we think that he's going to sort of get there. The Black Order is going to invade the ship. He's going to come on. And we think that this is him taking off the mask and getting the new stone out of the Tesseract. Now, when I went in frame by frame here, you can see that he already has, and I stopped it right there. You can see that he already has the power gem. And so it kind of depends on the timing here. Like, maybe the movie opens up with him on Xandar, and he shows up with the Nova Corps, and he's like, I'm going to take that power gem, please. And they might put up a fight, and then I believe he'll just decimate them and get the stone. And so that might actually be like pre-credits. So pre-credits, because they've said that in the first 5 minutes of the movie, the very first scenes with Thanos, you're going to get a feel for just how dark, evil, and powerful this guy is. So I'm assuming maybe they'll start with Xandar. He grabs that gem, and then post-credits, we're seeing this, where he interacts with Thor and Hulk and takes the gem. But so cool to see him in the battle armor. And you see him in the battle armor again in like a flashback in a little bit here. You got Spidey. Does anybody else think that like everybody on that bus is going to know Peter is Spider-Man? Like, what's he doing hanging off side of the bus and putting his mask on? Now, maybe everybody's eyes are glued to the alien thing over there, and maybe that's how he gets away with it, but I don't know. I was like, it's kind of whack. Okay, this is an important shot. Obviously, Tony right here is saying we have one advantage. He's coming for us. This is obviously the Mark 50, the Prime model, the bleeding edge armor that he has. And this ship that's leaving Earth. So it looks like it was like on Earth and it's leaving Earth. I don't know what happened. Maybe it dropped some baddies down or something and it's leaving. But what's important about this is we see in the trailer that Peter is on this thing. And in the first trailer, we saw him in the Iron Spider armor on this thing. But then in that little teaser and in some TV spots, he was in his cloth. And we're like, well, what's going on there? And what I think is happening here is that Peter's going to get onto this ship or this obelisk or whatever it is in his cloth suit. And then as he's going up into orbit, this is where Iron Man's going to come there and be like, kid, you're going to die. And he gives him the Iron Spider suit like right then and there. And it sort of like forms because I think it's similar to the Model 50. I think that the Iron Spider is going to be nanobot tech. You know what I mean? Like where it's going to kind of come out and get on him. And I think what's going to happen here is if you keep going, like look at that thrust, bada boom, and then he's there. And I think what's going to happen in that scene is he's like, hey, here's your new suit, don't die. And then he's going to leave and try to go figure out what the hell is going on. But important to the narrative of the film here. Okay, so check this out. This time stone, what is he doing here? Okay, so we obviously don't know what Doc Strange is doing here, but the narrative in the film, what Tony is saying and what they're setting up with these images is we have what he wants. We're going to use that. So part of the thing, and I dropped a video last night talking about Wakanda in Infinity War. And part of the deal is, like, why are they in Wakanda? And I believe they're going to take the gems that they have, store them in Wakanda, make their stand there, and try to maybe use the gems to repel him, or simply use the fact that Thanos is coming for them, go into Wakanda where they have the best chance of putting up a fight. But that's interesting because that's sort of a part of the narrative that they are talking about in this trailer. So then you get Scarlet Witch and the Vision. Wakanda, obviously, we know a lot of the movies taking place in Wakanda. This is the Secret Avengers, which is Cap and Black Widow and all of those cats. They are meeting up with T'Challa here. That shot's very important. Okay, so that's like a holograph. That's Shuri looking at a holograph of Vision. Now, we know from toy leaks and because we've just been going crazy on this stuff that Shuri is trying to remove the mind gem from Vision. And this is either to try to save him in case, like, Thanos is, like, going to get it, it's inevitability, or is there a way to remove it from Vision and maybe weaponize it or send it somewhere else, to try to combat the invasion from Thanos? That's sort of where our heads are at here. But I don't know if she's going to be able to do it. The Russos have kind of said in interviews, and this is going even back a couple of years, that he cannot live without the Mind Stone. And so I don't know what's going to happen there, but I don't think they're going to be able to get it out. So let's talk about this plan of yours. So this is awesome because this scene is actually from that spot that they dropped last year where Tom Holland, Chris Pratt, and Robert Downey Jr. were all on camera together in like a set. This is that exact set. So this was when they were talking about Infinity War. This was that trailer where they showed the bookmarked Infinity Gauntlet. Do you remember that? And they had the disassembled there too, and they were going over the plans. This was shot way back then. And it's really cool. You get your first taste of Pratt and RDJ together, which a lot of people are excited to see. I'm excited to see that team up. And I think this scene sort of nails the tone of that. Wow. That's funny. Obviously, combat in Wakanda, nothing too crazy here. This is that Hulkbuster, and we know that Banner is in there. Whether or not he's hulked out or not, Banner is in there controlling this thing. I have a theory that like Hulk is literally so afraid of Thanos or so affected by their first interaction with Thanos that he doesn't want to come out and play because he's literally terrified, which would be very interesting. I don't know if that's the way it'll go. But if we look a little bit later here, okay, wait, let's stop right here. So this shot to me, this was crazy. This, I think, has to do with Thor getting his new weapon and maybe even some more power. And I love this shot because it's like this behind the back shot of Thor makes him look very godlike. And then you have Rocket, who's like, I don't know, we don't see Rocket like this often. With that facial expression, he's literally in awe and he's shocked, right? That's him sort of using that new weapon. And we know that he gets the wood for the hilt there from Groot. This looks to be that very similar spaceship there, and that is on Titan. But let's just go. We've got to pause right here. I want to talk about this. This is craziness. This is awesome. Thanos in the armor. This looks to be a flashback, okay? That is baby Gamora holding the hand of Thanos. And he's sort of like walking her out here. This looks to be like Gamora's people. And I mean, like, this is just so crazy to me. Like, we're getting this flashback. They're trying to humanize Thanos. They want to give us more of what is going on. Now, we know that these set pieces, which we'll get to in a second here, of the big action at the end of the movie, at least part of that is going to take place on Titan, on the home planet of Thanos. Now, my theory is that they're going to go there with Doctor Strange and utilize the Time Stone to try to look into Thanos' past and try to, figure out a weakness and figure out, like, what is motivating this guy? Like, what's going on? Is there something in his past that we can use to try to turn against him? So I believe that's what's going on here. But this scene, like, holy crap. When I saw this was crazy right here. So, it just looks crazy. That's him putting the hurting on Thor. But this is an interesting shot. So this is Loki with the Black Order. Some people think Loki is going to die in the beginning of this movie, that this is what's going to happen here. Other people believe he will become a member of the Black Order and be on Thanos' side during this film, but then sort of maybe switch sides at the end, pull like a little kind of trick. I don't know. I wouldn't be mad either way. I kind of feel like he's going to die, though. He really wronged Thanos, and I can see Thanos just crushing him, which would obviously motivate Thor quite a bit, too. So let's keep going here. I mean, look at the power here. He literally just takes the Tesseract and just crushes it. This is that fight, right? Okay, let's stop right here. Corvus, Glaive, and Doctor Strange. This appears to be maybe in the mirror dimension. And I think what's happening here is Doctor Strange might be trying something to try to, like, get an advantage or get out of the fray. And so going into the mirror universe, that is something that he's used in the past. These crystals here, this really seems mirror universe-y to me. And what would be so fascinating here is if Corvus Glaive is able to, like, let's say Doc Strange, like, boom, pops in the mirror dimension because he's like, okay, I'm safe. And then Corvus Glaive is there and he's like, nah, bro, you're not safe at all. And he's obviously looks like he's messing him up here. This looks brutal. It's also a callback to the Jonathan Hickman Infinity Run right there. There's a similar scene that happens where Corvus Glaive basically uses, like, astral projection to sort of data mine Doc Strange's brain, and so he knows the tactics and what's going on Earth to help the invasion. But I was really excited to see this. This devilish look that Corvus Glaive gives is so cool. I can't wait to see this character. Huge fan of the Jonathan Hickman run, so I'm excited to see this. And this is just okay. So this shot right here, this is crazy. So I think this might be the moment where Hulk busts out of the armor, because we got those teases from the Hulk hulked out Hulkbuster armor, I think is what it was called, where he's literally like Hulk's gonna bust up out of this armor. So I think this is the scene. Like Banner's trying to fight all these Outriders. He's getting like piled up on, and then Hulk's gonna be like, okay, finally I'll do it, and then like Hulk out and start going to town. This right here, okay, man. Oh god, we paused it right there. It's so brutal. So I think what's happening here is like this is that shot from the first trailer where Thanos gives him that huge right hand and it busts off part of the armor. You'll notice in the shot before this where Tony's got like armor missing, and this is where Thanos says, "I hope they'll remember you." This might be the end of Tony Stark, man. Ugh. And then this right here, this is Thanos fighting Captain America in Wakanda. Now, with the space gem and the power gem, he can just literally like boom tube there, like just instantly he'll be there. So I'm thinking this all happens in the third act. So Thanos will fight them on Titan, thwart their plan, and then boom, he's back in Wakanda and defeats the Avengers there too. Now, we only see the 2 gems in his gauntlet, but Marvel is really good at digitally removing stuff for their trailers that they do not want us to be privy to before the film. So it's possible here that that blank knuckle right there has the time stone. It's very possible. It's possible at this point he's almost completed the gauntlet. We don't know. Either way, they're not giving it to us. They're not giving it away, and I'm happy about that because I want to be surprised. So cool, though, to see Cap giving Thanos a run for his money there. And then we're going to end here with a little just easy little comedy scene here with Peter Parker and Doc Strange. Not too much to, really, not too much to glean there. Dang, Spidey looks cool flipping through all this stuff, though. That's going to be hot. So, yeah, that's the trailer. That's the breakdown, guys. Now, let me address the chat here, see what everybody's saying. Bloop. Okay, and we're back. Let's see what's going on. Yeah, what does everybody think about that? Please let me know in the chat. Like, what do you think is going on? And by the way, in a little bit here, one of the topics on the show, and you'll see it down below, is going to be, it's literally called Death Watch. I want to know what everybody, who everybody thinks is going to die. All right, so let's do the first trivia question. Is everybody ready for this thing? We'll go easy. It'll be a little softball, but I need to make sure that that I got the bottom of the chat here. Get to the bottom of this. Bum, bum, bum. Mm-hmm. Okay, so the first trivia question to win some cool Pacific Rim swag. Oh no.
What'd you do when
We dropped some frames. It stopped it. Hopefully we can get right back.
it stopped entirely?
Yeah.
How many frames are you dropping?
Probably 2.7. Yeah, but I'm confused by like why it left my streaming setting here. It might still be going. Let me try to get. I think it's still streaming. Sorry, everybody. Technical difficulties.
No, you're still live.
Cool. Still live. Okay, so I'm going to try to.
You're dropping frames, you're just lagging. So you're not too bad.
Okay. Well, I got to get back into my thing so I can see the chat.
I'll keep an eye on you.
Can you see the chat for me so I can see what the first person is that gets this question correctly? All right, cool. So Ixie's going to help me out with this a little bit to see who is going to be the first person to get this question correct. But I want to know, what was the name of the artificial intelligence from 2001, A Space Odyssey, that was all murderous and evil? Answer that question in the comment section below, and you will win some Pacific Rim Uprising swag.
In chat.
Yeah, hit me in the chat with that.
It was Ghost World.
It was Ghost World. Nice. Ghost World. Well done, sir. Well done. He got it right. He got the how. Nice. My man. Okay, cool.
Yeah, but I knew who that was. I was like, that's too easy. But
Yeah, I thought about it. It might be a little bit too easy, but we got it. All right, guys, so we're going to get into our second topic of the day, and then after this, we're definitely going to do another trivia question and give some cool stuff away. By the way, Ghost World, hit me up with your information. You can send me a message, send me an email at thedenofnerds@gmail.com. Either way is good. Now, this is a very interesting story to me. DC has decided to do a New Gods movie. A New Gods movie. Like, first of all, this is kind of interesting. It's like I think I understand where their mindset is here. I think I know where their head is at with doing this. So it makes sense to me as far as the context and the direction. However, I think one of the problems here, one of the things that people are sort of confused about, is the director. And so Ava Duvernay. Sorry, I can't pronounce names. But she is the director that just did... Why am I blanking on this movie? A Wrinkle in Time. Thank you for being here. A Wrinkle in Time. So she just did this Wrinkle in Time movie, and now she's penned, or is going to be the director of a New Gods movie. And I'll be honest with you, this is sort of a confusing pick for me. And part of the reason here is because, although I do think she's an incredibly talented person, it seems odd that you would select a director that has a movie out right now that is kind of failing. It's kind of considered a failure. I mean, it's not making a ton of movie. I'm wondering what it is on. Can you check what it is on Rotten Tomatoes? I think it's fairly. I don't think critics like this movie very much at all. I heard people say it was an absolute mess. I do know that she did have some stuff lined up with Disney, some stuff that she was going to do, and I don't think that stuff's happening anymore. I'm pretty sure Disney was like, I don't think we can move forward on this. And so I find it very odd that they would select someone like that who currently has a movie that's kind of not doing so hot, and that they're going to be in charge of New Gods. And like, as a big Jack Kirby fan, I'm super into this. However, I do want to be completely fair about this. There's some stuff that I'm pretty pumped about.
So what information do you want?
What's its Rotten Tomato? Yeah, what's the score?
Okay, so it's at 40% right now.
So it's at 40% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Considered fresh with that.
It's still considered fresh.
That's the critic score. The audience score is 34.
Oh, jeez.
But it's pulling in about money-wise.
Well.
Money-wise, it's still pulling in 33.1 million.
Okay, so it's still pulling in some money, but yeah, it's just not considered a success. It's one of the rare misses for Disney. But here's a couple of different things that when I looked into it, I was able to forgive the choice and maybe even get excited about it. Number one, a lot of people say that A Wrinkle in Time is actually visually a very good movie. On the visual side, on the effects side, it's interesting, it's very good, it's dynamic, it's bombastic, it's crazy. And so I think that when it comes to Jack Kirby, these are all of the things that epitomize Jack Kirby comics to me. And so I would be incredibly excited to see her take it, if nothing else, because I think she will visually nail what is supposed to be going on with Fourth World. And so that's kind of exciting. Another thing that actually got me kind of pumped is, think about this. This is kind of a crazy idea. Oprah as Granny Goodness. If you're a hardcore comic book fan, let me know what you think about that. Oprah as Granny Goodness. I'd be so down. I think it would be absolutely crazy, absolutely amazing. So the choice is a little bit vexing to me, but let me explain something that popped into my head with regards to this move. If you look at some of the movies that are being slated, the movies that are getting a lot of attention, they're actually in production for DC, We're talking about Aquaman. We're talking about Wonder Woman 2. We're talking about Shazam. What do all of those movies have in common? Well, they are linked to more mythological storylines and characters. And so when it comes to Wonder Woman, when it comes to Atlantis, these are very mythical subject matters. And I think what DC is starting to do, and hopefully this could be legitimately a huge turn for their film universe, is they've decided, look, the Justice League, we're kind of like gods. We're more like gods of Olympus than we are like heroes on the ground level. And so while Marvel has created sort of like a realistic approach to their universe, I've always thought when it comes to comics that DC was more like mythological based. They're like the Greek gods of modern era. And I've always wondered why they don't focus more on that aspect in the films. And so you could be looking at a scenario in which DC is like, well, never mind all of this gritty David Goyer type of realism. We've got the godlike characters. Let's shift tone and let's focus on like bigger themes, like bigger ideas, Shakespearean type plots and conflicts. And if that is the way they are going to go, I'm very interested in that. I think that that could be very successful for them. So, I'm not super pumped about the Ava choice. Like, just being completely honest with you, I don't understand it, especially like considering where DC Films is at right now. DC Films is not in a great spot. I don't think they're in a position where they can take big risks. And so just simply like on her credentials alone, it's kind of a confusing choice. Like I said, the visual element excites me. The idea of a New Gods movie in general is crazy to me. I love that idea. I'm a big fan. And like I said, I think that this could be a direction to sort of take their film slate, which would be, I think, a little bit more in tune with what makes DC characters so popular. You're talking about 75 years of lore, of stories, of all different sort of things. So I think that's sort of the way that it should go. But that's sort of the news that she's out there. I'm very interested to hear what everybody thinks about this. Please drop some comments in the chat. Let me know what you're thinking about Ava, and let me know what you think about Oprah as Granny Goodness. Oprah as Granny Goodness.
I'm okay with it. I'm also okay with Ava because Wrinkle in Time is like not her best work.
Right.
Her other stuff is amazing.
See, when I looked at her filmography, so she's been very active. I mean, she's got a good career. She's done a lot of different things. But as far as directing, it's a lot of TV stuff, right?
Yeah, and Wrinkle in Time it should have been a miniseries.
Oh, okay. You know what? That makes a lot of sense. Ixie's saying, I don't think you can hear. She said that Wrinkle in Time probably should have been a miniseries. What's the source material? Is it books?
It's books.
Okay, yeah. So that probably makes a lot of sense. I will also say, too, to just be totally fair, it is okay to stumble a little bit, and I think that on her next production, she will automatically be better. Another thing, too, when it comes to these sort of situations is, like, in film in general, in that space, when a director comes on, it's not just the director usually. Like, they'll bring their producer, their team. So if she brings the people that helped her, especially visually, with A Wrinkle in Time, that could be very interesting, and that could help out. What are people saying in the chat? Are they down? Are they mad about this? Are they okay with it?
It's pretty. I agree with the Oprah thing.
Yeah, Oprah Granny Goodness. That would be so cool.
Ghost is wanting a reboot into the Golden Age.
Yeah, that would be cool. Some Golden Age stuff. Ghost, that would be cool. I would be into that for sure. All right, guys, let's do our next trivia question. Oh, Ghost, you're not eligible. You're not eligible, brother. I'm sorry. I'm sending you a bunch of cool stuff, though. Yo, Isaiah Prince, what's going on? Hey, guys, okay, so here's the question. This is a little bit more harder. I wonder, I don't answer just in case they can hear you, but I'm interested to know if you know this. The famous science fiction book, Fahrenheit 451, what does that number refer to? Answer that question in the chat. First person to do it is going to get some cool swag.
I haven't read it since high school.
Yeah, it was one. It was that classic high school book. I mean, I get where Jorge was going with that, but I feel like we need to get a little bit more specific. And I'm not going to say whether or not Ghost. Mr. Pete, you got it. We're going to give it to Mr. Pete. Look, Jorge, I'm sorry. I just, like books, sort of, but I just can't. I can't accept that answer because it's not specific enough. But yeah, Mr. Pete, we're gonna give it to Mr. Pete, who got the answer correctly. And I know you had the little typo there, but totally good. I know what you were saying. So we are all good on that. I feel bad. I feel bad for Jorge though. Look, we'll get you on the next question, bro. Just do that. By the way, guys, if you have questions, I slated out a spot at the end of the show. Please drop some questions into the chat. I'll try to pick them out maybe as we get later on in the show. If you do a super chat too, I think it'll like pin, so I can definitely answer anybody that super chats in.
You heard they're making that into a movie, right?
Yeah, I think that. Yeah, definitely. I'm actually excited about that. It's with Michael B. Jordan, right? Rumored. Okay. Yeah. I'm into that. I think it would be cool. Yes. Well done, the Mr. Pete. You got it. Hey, I'm sorry, Jorge. Look, we'll get you on the next one, brother. I know. Couldn't remember the premise. You're all good, man. You're all good. All right, let's get in to the next topic of the day. This one's kind of fun. I love this picture too that I picked for this. Check this out, guys. Lord of the Rings. There's a Lord of the Rings show being developed at Amazon. I don't know if you were aware of that or not. I wonder if you were aware of how much money Amazon is spending on this series. It's an absurd amount. Right now, they're slated to spend over, and that's what I said, over $500 million on 2 seasons. Now, that sounds pretty crazy. There's a couple of different things that make it even crazier. Number one, they paid $250 million just to get the rights to do this show. Yeah, that kind of boggles the mind. $250 million just to get the rights to do the Lord of the Rings show? That's absurd. And by the way, the original Lord of the Rings trilogy, the Peter Jackson films, which are classics, legendary movies, all 3 of them, that cost only came in at about $270 million. So they paid $20 million less than the full production on the first 3 movies just to get the rights to do it. And they're slated to spend another $250 million to develop the series. This would put it at, I believe, the most expensive production in television history. Now, having said that, obviously the Lord of the Rings franchise is beloved. The book series, the movies, the Hobbit movies. But people love these things. I mean, Lord of the Rings video games sell well. Lord of the Rings merchandise sells well. All sorts of Lord of the Rings stuff does very well. I think it's a great idea. Now, I'm hoping that with a budget like this, they're going to produce something on the level of like a Game of Thrones television experience. And if they end up doing that within the Lord of the Rings universe, I will be a big fan. I'll be incredibly excited to check it out. But I don't know. I mean, $250 million is not a small amount of money. I mean, it is Amazon. They literally own the world right now, so they have enough money to throw around. But that's the story for right now. So my question to all of you guys is, I mean, what do you think about this? Do you currently watch any of the Amazon shows? Because they have like The Man in High Castle. They have a couple other things that do fairly well for them with their original programming. This is a huge move for them. This is them trying to take that huge Game of Thrones audience, and I believe they're trying to launch this show right at the time when Game of Thrones goes off the air. What I think is very interesting about this is at that same time, HBO is pouring a ton of money into the Game of Thrones spin-offs. So HBO knows exactly what's going to happen. There's going to be a vacuum created in worldwide audiences because Game of Thrones is the most profitable and the most watched show of all time. When it goes off the air, there will be fans hungry for similar content that will not have somewhere to go right away. So what are you putting your money on? Are you putting your money on this series, the Lord of the Rings Amazon series? Or are you putting your money more on the Game of Thrones spin-offs and it would just sort of be an easy transition? Traditionally for me, like spin-offs are sort of hit and miss. I can't really think of a spin-off that I got really, really into, even on shows that I was incredibly excited for and a huge, huge fan of. So let me know in the chat, guys. What do you think about this story? What do you think? $500 million? That's insane. Like, that's what they spent on, like, Justice League. No, they didn't even spend that much on Justice League. So craziness is afoot. I definitely want to know what everybody thinks about Lord of the Rings. Whether you're watching this live or you're watching it later, let me know what you think about it because I'm pretty excited. But yeah, definitely want to know what everybody's thinking here. Now I'm trying to pick a question here. Trying to pick a question.
At Amazon, and I'm asking questions before I throw money at anything.
Oh, wait. What was that?
I know a guy at Amazon. I'm asking questions before I throw money at anything.
Right, because it's part of their streaming service or whatever, right? So you would need to pay to get it, correct?
I already have Amazon Prime
Oh, you do? Okay.
because Twitch Prime is now Amazon Prime.
Right, because Amazon owns Switch, right?
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. By the way, we might do some Twitch streaming, guys. Let me know in the chat what you think about that. Would you be sad? Would you follow me over there? Please let me know. All right, let's go with a really softball question because I want to get somebody some cool stuff. I want Errol Mars to see on there. Hey, later, Kay. Okay, guys. Okay, here we go. This is going to be a really easy question. Everybody listen up. First person to get this right in the chat will win some cool Pacific Rim swag. Are you ready for the softball? Here we go. In how many parsecs did Han Solo, they should already be answering, finish the Kessel Run in, famously? How many parsecs? Do, 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 do. You got it. I was hoping he would get it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was hoping Jorge would get it. Dude, you got it, my man. Congratulations. That's absolutely awesome.
Waiting to see if someone gave Ray's answer.
I know. Me too. The 14. 14? Dude, Ghost, you are on it though, man. You are good at these questions. Yes.
By the way, there is Marvel on Amazon. That is where it moved to off of Netflix.
Really? What do you mean? Like the
So Netflix has like Shield and everything, but the older Marvel movies
Oh.
from like 10 to 5 years ago
Interesting.
are all on Amazon. It's really weird.
I wonder if that'll change when the Disney streaming service drops.
Oh yeah.
Because Disney will just take everything off. All right, guys, this is going to be an interactive segment. This is the last official topic on the day. I just want to have some fun with everybody in the chat. I want to get a feel for what people are thinking. We're going to talk about the Avengers and who's going to die in Infinity War. Okay, so I want everybody let me know in the chat, just yes or no, as I go over these characters, yes or no, do you think they're going to die? Let's start with the most obvious one, the one that's going to break my heart, the one that we're all probably pretty sure is going to happen. Iron Man. Let me know in the chat, guys. Yes or no? Do you think Iron Man is going to die? I want to try to get a feel for what people are saying here. What do you think about that?
I think Iron Man's probably going to go because I think they've already lined up who they're going to get. But I don't necessarily want to go with death. I think removed from the board is a better term.
Okay. Yeah, that can work. Jorge says yes. Ooh, Isaiah Price. Isaiah Price says no. Hey, Isaiah, let me know in the chat. Why not? You don't think he's going to die? You think, do you think he will die and come back or something? Sanel says he shouldn't. Yeah.
I go with the remove from the board theory because they use RDJ way too much to promote shit.
They do, but I watched a compilation video today of like interviews and different things, and he's just such a great ambassador for the brand. Like he's just so like fun-loving, high energy, just so good. It'll break my heart. Liz says, I hope not.
He'll still pass Iron Man on.
Right.
But he's not getting taken out.
My theory is that he will be the new AI. He'll become Jarvis. So that way they keep him in there and he'll do ADR. He'll just come in and do voice work, still sort of be a part of it. All right, let's do the next one, guys. I think he might lose an arm or something heavy like that. That would be cool. That would be really cool. All right, let's go to Captain America. We see him at the end of the trailer. He's fighting Thanos face to face. That cannot end well. Yes or no, do you think Captain America is gonna die? I think so. I think he's gone.
It would match the art, the comic art.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. And I think they've sort of slipped to that Bucky will end up being Cap. There's like some old interviews where he's talking about it, and he's like, "Yeah, they told me this plan, blah 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 blah, and then you're gonna be Captain America." And nowadays, when he's asked that question, he doesn't answer directly. But back then, yeah.
The emphasis was lulls on it.
Ha. Yep. Yep. Super dead. So dead. Wow. People really think Cap is gonna go more so than Iron Man. It looks like he can die, and I wouldn't care that much. What? Sunil, you don't like Cap? What's going on? Can you not see what's behind me?
It's gonna disappoint the person that runs my SCA group because he's a huge Captain America fan, but I think it's gonna happen.
Yeah, it'll probably happen. I'm a huge Captain America fan too, and I'd love. The thing is, though, I am excited for Bucky to take the mantle because I think what's cool is so the public's not going to know that it's Winter Soldier. You know what I mean? Like they're not going to know per se, but all the Avengers will. So there'll be a lot of distrust, and there'll be a lot of friction there. That would be very interesting drama-wise. I'd really like to see how that plays out in the future. All right, let's go with Thor. What do you guys think? I really don't think Thor is going to die. Not yet, no. But I think they're going to do something interesting with him and maybe take him out of play, like off the board for a little bit, just being in charge of Asgard or having some kind of a cosmic responsibility other than Asgard. But I do not think he's going to die, especially with them giving him this new hammer and all this power. I don't think they're going to be doing that.
Not yet. They'll eventually do the changeover that happens in the comics, but not yet.
Yeah, but you know what I want to see? I want to see let me know too, because this is an interesting question. Who could take over for Thor? I want to see Valkyrie. Honestly, I would. I wasn't a huge, even though Jason Aaron's a great writer and the run on Lady Thor is good, like people seem to like it. I never got into it because I was like, man, like what's the explanation here? You know, after Fear itself, they never explained why he was unworthy, and it just felt like sort of dragging him through the mud.
Do a better job, but
They should have, yeah. But I have no problem with a female Thor. I would love Valkyrie. Valkyrie, first of all, she's Asgardian. She's a badass, and she's hilarious. She's absolutely hilarious. Tessa Thompson's great. So I would be down for that in the future. He already lost an eye. Yeah, people are saying no. People don't think that he's going to go. That's interesting.
I don't think that was the time.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see here. What about Loki, guys? Loki's one of those ones. What does everybody think? Yes or no? Loki gonna die? Loki gonna die? Or is Loki gonna be okay? What do you think?
I think it's gonna be on the still considered like the lore of Norse mythology, and it's gonna be a huge trick.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, I like that. I like that.
I know way too much about Norse mythology and Loki in particular. I think it's gonna be.
So he'll be sort of working with Thanos, but not really?
I think
Or
that
dead
is
and not really?
Or dead and not really, or maybe thought that he's dead and not really.
Well, they kind of already did that in Ragnarok, right?
I haven't seen Ragnarok. I told you.
Ixie hasn't seen Ragnarok, everybody.
I told you nobody wants to do these things where I live.
Dude, but now it's out on Blu-ray. Now it's out on digital. You've got no excuse. You got to check it out.
Yeah, I know.
You can even torrent it. I didn't say that. So I don't know. I think Loki's gone. I think Thanos is gonna crush his face. I think Thanos is gonna grab his face at the beginning and just go boom and just smash him. And it might even be grotesque. I'm wondering how gross. No more Loki. I think Loki will die. He's a survivor. He is a survivor.
Yeah, the stuff he goes through in Norse mythology, you just kind of sit there and you're like, wow. You want him to die so that he can not have to deal with all of that.
Right. Yeah. I think he's gone. That's just my opinion.
Thanos can torture him instead.
Right. Let's do one more Avenger. Vision. Is Vision gonna die? He's got that gem. Are they gonna remove it? Is he gonna die? Yeah, I think definitely. I think Vision is gone. But I also think, you know what else I think though is interesting about that? If he does go, I could see Wanda doing something with her powers and manipulating reality on the level of House of M, where she sort of just demands that it comes back and manipulates reality for him to come back. I can see something like that happening, but I think that Thanos is gonna kill him for sure. I think that might even be the way that it ends. Like, I almost see the scenario playing out where Thanos busts into Wakanda, like just beats them, takes Vision, crushes his face, puts the gem in there, grabs it, and then bails, just kind of leaving the Earthbound heroes to just be like, what the hell do we do now? And then that is the end, right? And then next year we have to see part 2. Whew, it's going to be crazy. Let me know in the chat, guys, what do you think about Vision passing? And then we'll move along to some fan questions. If you have a nerdy question, I'm only going to go for about 10 minutes more on here. If you have a nerdy question that you want me to go over, go ahead and drop it in the chat right now, and we'll go over that. Dead. I like that. Isaiah Price is just like, dead. He's dead. Mm-hmm. Switch this over. Oh, this means we need another trivia question, doesn't it? Let's do, you know what? Let's do a question. I want to do a question based on Pacific Rim. We'll go kind of softball. So I want to know, guys, answer this question. Whoever answers this question first correctly in the chat will win swag. We're going to ship that stuff out to you. What was the name of Idris Elba's character? Full name. First and last I'll take. Idris Elba's character from the first movie. Answer that question in the comment section. First person to get it gets some swag. Chat, not comments. If you do it in the comments, though, that's cool, because we do appreciate comments, but it will not count for the prize. I wonder how many people are Googling that right now.
You keep doing it.
I see your question, Ditchiu, and I will go over that. Do you think Wakanda will be the final battle? I'll go over that in just a second. What's the name of Idris Elba's character from the first Pacific Rim movie? Let me know.
They're all IMDbing it right now.
I know, right? Hey, nobody's gotten it yet. You still got time. His name is Finn's dad. Well done, sir. Well done. That is not the correct answer, but I would have accepted it if you hadn't already won. Because that's pretty brilliant. Man, maybe nobody wants any more stuff.
Speaking of that, did you hear Boyega's gonna be on Jedi Council?
Oh, I mean, that's something they've been trying to accomplish for a while. I know that he has sort of spoken to. You know what's so funny? So I know the guy that was on Jedi Council yesterday, and I'm blanking on his name. I think it's Mike from Nerd Soul. I know that guy. He's a friend of a friend, and he got on Jedi Council. And look, I don't really know too much about Nerd Soul, but I know that they literally just started. To my knowledge, I think they just started their channel. If you guys know anything about Nerd Soul, let me know. I just thought that was so interesting. I know the guy. He's a friend of a friend, and he was on Jedi Council. I was like, what is this? Is this a Twilight Zone episode? This is kind of crazy. Stacker Pentecost! You got it, man. You got it, Isaiah. We'll ship you out some cool stuff, man. Send me your info in a message, and we'll go in there. So let's go over a couple questions here. Please drop a question in here, guys. I'm going to go for 10 minutes more. Drop a nerdy question, I'll go over it. So, do I think Wakanda will be the final battle? I do. But I think that it's going to happen in phases. So, I think what's going to happen is they will be sort of holding the line. There may be an initial assault that gets repelled, and then Thanos will eventually come there himself. Because what I think is happening is he's going to be sort of off-world fighting Doc Strange, Peter Quill, Iron Man, Peter Parker on Titan, and whatever's going on there, that's a whole different thing. But then he'll just shift and come back into Wakanda. So I do think that Wakanda is going to be the final battle, because that's where they're going to hold up. That's where they have the best chance of holding up. It's where they have the best defenses, and I still don't think it's going to be enough. So I think this movie's going to end kind of tragically, which is going to be so interesting. I mean, with Marvel's formula, we're so used to happy endings. We're so used to the bad guy losing, the good guy winning. This is going to end tragically, and I don't know how audiences are going to respond to that. I'm very interested to see the reaction, because I think it's going to end tragically. So do I think Wakanda is going to be the final battle? I absolutely do. Real quick too, I want to cover Benjamin Lambert's question that he hit me up about. It was with regards to like Reylo, Kylo Ren, and Rey, and his question was about um, basically he said he thinks that Poe and Rey have some kind of a connection there, and that might foster better, and there could be a situation where Kylo is redeemed by saving Poe because he knows how Rey feels about him. That could be interesting. The love triangle thing, I could kind of see it. But what I said to his comment yesterday, and what I think is like the thing to me that really fuels this whole Reylo thing, is the fact that it's more than just like romance, soap opera type stuff. This is like cosmic force type stuff. So they're being positioned as two sides of the force that need to reconcile with one another. So they're more than just physical characters that have an attraction to each other because they're people. It's more like, no, they're two sides of this equation, of this like spell, of this thing that is happening. So to me, that is part of the reason why Reylo is so interesting, because they represent different sides of the force that are being kind of wedged together, forced to reconcile their differences. Because one of the things that was really interesting in the special features for The Last Jedi is that Ryan does a really good job of breaking down where Luke's psychology is at. He literally believes that he did a bad thing by formulating the Jedi again, that there's this cycle that just keeps happening. The Jedi rise, then the Sith rise, darkness, light, and all that. And so Luke decides to take himself off the board. He decides to remove himself because he literally believes it is the right thing to do. It also coincides with the third lesson that Rey was supposed to receive, which is a deleted scene. The whole idea is like not interfering, right? Like sort of knowing what's at, letting stuff run its course. Because when you interfere, every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. That's sort of the vibe there. So I find within that principle, it's interesting to talk about Rey and Kylo as a couple. Now on the fact is, Poe and her are probably going to be spending a lot more time together. It would make sense because Oscar Isaac is just straight up a gorgeous man. So it would make sense if Rey is attracted to him and they foster a connection, especially if they spend a lot of time together. So I could see that happening. But I don't think there's really a love triangle thing going on there, because the relationship between Rey and Kylo is cosmic. So that's what I think. All right, I'm going to take Natasha's question here. Who do you think is going to die in Infinity War? And do you think Doctor Strange will reverse time to bring them back the way he did Wong? The Mr. Pete channel hates Reylo, by the way. That's okay, man. Look, not everybody's gonna be into everything. It's all good. Okay, so let's get into Natasha's question. Who do I think is gonna die? Captain America and Iron Man. I think Captain America and Iron Man are both gonna pass, and maybe some more too. I mean, it's possible Vision will go. It's possible Loki will go, but my main two are Iron Man and Cap. I think they're going to go. Do I think Doc Strange is going to reverse time? No, I do not. Feige has said this death and this stuff's going to be permanent. We need real stakes. And plus, I don't think Doc Strange is going to be holding on to that time stone for very long. I think Thanos is going to get that thing. But it is interesting. It is an interesting thought. Could he manipulate time? I actually think one of the ways they might find refuge from this whole situation is to jump into another dimension, which could be accomplished with a spell and not an Infinity Stone. So I think that they might leap into an alternate reality, because the stones only work in their native universe. So like, let's say they grab the Soul Stone and they leave and go to a different universe. If Thanos comes after them, even with the gauntlet, it'll like fizzle. It won't work in the other universe. It only works to its own universe. So that's something that I've thought a lot about. It's also something that happened in the Hickman comics. So I could see them taking a page out of that book, and sort of that's where they end up with their refuge. It would be interesting to see other versions of these characters too, but no, I don't think they're going to bring them back to life. Why would Darksider and a Lightsider have a connection? I sort of explained that already. I think that it's just the cosmic force trying to balance itself out. All right, guys, I'm going to take just a couple more questions. Drop me some questions. Strange should bargain with Thanos like he did with Dormammu. Yeah, all right, that would be very interesting. I'd love to do that. But the problem is, I think he's already, if he gets the Reality Stone, I mean, what's stronger, time or reality? You know, it's sort of a tricky thing. Are they going to sort of repel against each other? And, yeah, but one of the things I'm interested in, just in general, is Doctor Strange in this movie, because he's one of the only people that A, has a stone, B, understands what it is, and also has an awareness of like the inner workings of the galaxy itself and the universe. So it'll be very interesting to see how he does this. How do I contact you for my prize? You can hit me on Twitter, you can hit me on Instagram, or email thedenofnerds@gmail.com. But that's a good question, by the way. All right, one more question. One more question, and we're out of here because we've been going for an hour, which is way longer than I usually do episodes. One more question. What do you want me to answer?
It's there. I don't know why you're not.
What is this it from Egghead? What are you most excited for in Infinity War? Probably the characters, the team ups with the characters. Like, you know, we got a little taste of that with Doc Strange and Peter at the end, with Peter Quill and Tony Stark. I'm just excited to see these characters. That is part of the charm of comics in general. Is you have long histories with these characters. This is something that's so cool. So you have like sort of a long built idea, a paradigm for what to expect with these characters. And it's so fun to see something that's so crystallized, and then something else that's sort of an unknown element within that paradigm come in there and sort of mingle. So I find that so fascinating. And we're 10 years into this thing. The characters are great. I'm so excited to see them interact. Like, just Doc Strange with everybody, like Drax, you know, Gamora. I want to see, like, is there little hints of comic book history that they have? Apparently Rocket and Hulk are going to be friends. That's going to be really interesting. So that would be the thing. Oh, who's my favorite superhero? Fine, I'll answer one more. No, thedenofnerds@gmail.com, brother. The Den of Nerds. Actually, my favorite superhero is sort of a weird pick. I like the Kane Scarlet Spider. So Kane was a clone of Peter Parker. He was a villain in the 90s, and then he sort of turns in Spider Island. He has an arc of redemption, becomes an anti-hero. And the reason I like him so much is because in 2011, when I was getting back into comics, there was a solo series written by Christopher Yost where Kane goes to Houston and he robs some drug dealers of money, and then he was just going to hop the border into Mexico and disappear. And he sort of gets roped in like reluctant hero style, and he starts stopping like human trafficking. And then he sort of becomes a hero in Houston, and he doesn't even want to be. And I love the book so much because I'm a huge... there you go. Thank you, Ixie. So that would be my answer is Kane Scarlet Spider. But like what I tell like the normies is Spider-Man, because it's too complicated to go into that story. So I tell people Spider-Man's my favorite character, superhero in comics. This is my Spider-Man's wallet, which is really tattered and I should probably replace. But yeah, Spider-Man is my favorite superhero, okay? This is the right Gmail. No. Now I'm embarrassed because I probably did say the, but it's the Den of Nerds. Ixie put it in the chat. That's it right there. The Den of Nerds@gmail.com.
I left off the .com so that like crawlers don't get you.
Okay, cool. All right, everybody, that's going to do it for today. By the way, we're doing this again on Monday. I'm going to live stream on Monday, and we're going to be giving away some more cool prizes. I'm excited. Tuesday night's the early release to go see The Uprising, Pacific Rim. I'm pumped. I'm pumped as hell. I love giant monsters and giant robots. It's going to be super cool. So thank you, everybody that checked out the stream, either live or later. Very special thank you to Ixie Morningstar for coming by, helping me out with this stream, and monitoring the chat, which we didn't even talk about, but that was clutch. Guys, as I always say, I hope you're... Oh, wait, I didn't talk about the Patreon. Oh, you almost got me, Internet. So, guys, we have a Patreon. It really does help us out. I'm putting cool bonus videos and content on there. If you like what we're doing here, I want to grow this. I want to expand. Consider checking us out on Patreon. Now, as I always say, I hope you are having an awesome and nerdy day. And I'll see you guys on Sunday for Star Wars Sunday. All right, everybody. Bye-bye.